Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court of Swords. It's week 51.
We did it.
We did it. It's over.
Having it 7 days.
We can kill the show.
The show is the Harry Potter of roleplay shows. We're the boy who lived. Everybody, good job.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Maybe
I guess this is I guess the last show to make it past 50 was like Solemn.
Yep.
Everything else died past 50.
We're streaming to you from roleplay heaven, and my God, it's beautiful here.
It's true. Well, it's mostly just our characters, so of course it's beautiful.
Big empty space that is Ramus Krill.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you might notice Dan's missing this week. He's got some sponsored obligations that I think he's been tweeting about. So just go read his Twitter. I don't know if he's announced fully what that stuff is or if he can contractually yet. So I'm not going to do that for him. But yeah, he'll be back next week and ready to play. It actually kind of works out story-wise that he's not here, or at least we'll make it work out story-wise that he's not here this week very easily, I would hope. And Adam, what are those eyes? You're freaking me out. You're making me anxious.
Sorry, you paused on me.
That happened to me too. Yeah, okay, good guy.
Oh, really?
It wasn't just you, Max. Max
so
made a face.
shy.
Yeah, Skype was being Skype.
Gotcha.
Well,
yeah,
no,
last night you were the
Good.
pauser.
I know.
So I guess
Yeah, we
tonight
take
I'll be
turns.
the pauser. Yeah.
Well, it's got me scared because of that massive kind of outage that happened recently for Comcast and stuff. So I'm like,
Oh.
no, not now. Not now. JV's gonna be so mad.
Did they ever say what happened with that? Random
Goblin.
I don't know.
goblins got into the knock.
So this is actually a real thing in Australia, because Australian internet apparently sucks real bad. They've been trying to rebuild the infrastructure using like fiber and like building all the new cables and stuff. And apparently in many of the areas that are like hubs for these things, there are these cockatoos that have just been eating the internet cables and just like dropping the whole network. So like entire cities will just have like internet outages as a result of these like angry birds eating the internet.
Jesus.
So goblins are not far off.
Jesus.
If you live
That's
in
got to be
Australia.
messed up, huh? Like our internet is literally getting fucked up by animals.
I mean, that's happened. I've had squirrels eat my line before. There's nothing.
Yeah.
The squirrel died also, so he gave his life for my internet. to
yeah,
go
I was
down.
gonna say.
Yeah, but whatever. Zeke, I just realized we didn't even intro you to the show because you already fit
That's right.
in. We already fit. It feels like you're just meant to be here.
Doesn't matter.
I've been here so much. I've been on
You know how this
I'm
goes.
on your channel. I'm on your channel more than you are.
I know. You know how this goes.
I feel that way. Like even when, like recently when I was on Drop Frames, it's like I'm not on Drop Frames that often, but it's just kind of like I know how this goes. I know the
Yeah.
people generally that are going to be on there, so nobody's really a stranger, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, welcome, Zeke. I think the last RP show you're on was Blades. We killed
Indeed
that
it
one
was.
before it even hit 20. So this one's 50. It's double the length. That's how much better it's double the length. So,
Yeah,
Double your pleasure,
that's
double
how
your
much
fun.
Yeah.
better we are.
Well, I think it's a working structure with two main people and then guests every so often. It is two main, right?
Three.
Three main.
Three main.
Three main plus
Three main.
Adam.
Three main.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget JP.
Yeah. No, I'm on the show too.
Yeah, he's
No,
on
I
this one.
forget you're a main because your characters keep dying.
It is true. I am basically a guest, but
We
also
haven't
a
even
main.
seen his main yet. These have all been Smurf accounts. All
They
right.
have been. Yeah.
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 No, I just figure you're the permanent invited guest, but not an actual member.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was fun. After the latest show that we did online, not the live show, I got to hear so many people that have had conversations with Adam, because me and Adam didn't really talk after that episode, and everyone was like, "Man, Adam, are you upset? Is he up? Are you guys okay? Like, Adam doesn't know if you're mad at him or like what happened." And I was like, "Oh, whatever. He'll figure it out. It's fine. It's not a big deal." But yeah, there were like Aaron and Scoots were both just like, "Yeah, you might want to talk to Adam because I think he thinks you're really upset at him right now."
Listen, I've been your friend for a while, JP, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens. The way you convey emotions, sometimes you're just like, but then internally, I'm like, no, it's JP. That's just kind of He's fine. He's fine. It's probably
yeah.
fine.
That was
The problem, the problem is that when I was little and my mom and dad would fight, my dad would just storm out of the house and I'd be sitting there and be like, "Daddy." So that episode really got me in a deep, dangerous emotional place. I'm glad we got over that period. Dad,
we were just talking about before the show. I was talking about it briefly, like the insecurities, because I think that's an interesting topic. But it's totally like that's what it is. It's like that kind of response or whatever, sort of like that, with that non-response sort of thing, makes you go like, did I fuck up?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Since Court of Swords up to this point had been JP and the other cast members being like, Adam, I want you to slap me in the face as hard as you can. And I've done it a bunch of times. There's a lot of slapping. And then that time it was like, wham! And then JP walked out of the room and I'm like, too hard? Did I hurt you?
Yeah,
I literally walked out of the
yeah.
room. I literally got up out of my chair and left for the end of that episode. It was great.
The friend who punches too hard when you're playing around. It's like, dude, come on.
Sorry.
No, and having done so many different episodes of whatever with JP, I've gotten very used to it, but I see it a lot, like of JP, like putting in something in like a group chat or something, and me going like, oh, they're gonna take that wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, yeah. I know the exact event, rather that I guess you can call it an event. That's kind of grandiose that you're referencing. Yes, yeah.
And also, here's my insecurities coming out. Chat's like, wow, like hopefully that's too real, dude. I didn't mean anything by that, by the way. You're great. You're a great guy.
Yeah, it's good. No, we're good. It's fine. But because of that, I decided we're just gonna change the entire show because I'm tired of dying. So if you need anyone to blame, it's my deaths, not anyone else's that complained to Adam, and that's why the show's changed. That's why we'll
Dude,
never
fuck
die.
It, kill me. Berg's been around forever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chad.
Berg can
I know
still
you want him
die.
to live forever. But
I've just paid Adam more this month, and I won't die.
We talked about this. We talked about this a bunch. If you're watching, you haven't seen it. JP and I did a video where we talked about some of the changes we wanted to make, and then today I recorded some of the more like if you're a GM and you want to see some of the mechanical stuff behind it, I recorded a video. So there's lots of additional information, but we're making some changes to the show, and I think it coincides great with having Zeke on the show because everybody knows Zeke loves to RP. Zeke is all about that like characterization shit. So it's actually it worked out nicely that we timed the change to the show and having Zeke as our guest. So
yeah, no, when you told me about it, when I was getting acclimated or getting my character rolled or whatever, when you told me about it, I went, oh great, this is perfect. This is right in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it.
I will also say that before I even jump in there, I think this is the most time I've actually spent on a character in terms of creation outside of just rolling for stats and stuff. Because like me and Zeke
totally fucked yourself. You know that, right?
I know. Me and Zeke, we had like a call. We like talked about the backstory, like all that. I don't typically do that stuff.
Zeke, you don't know this, but this is actually not. It's not that bad to spend time on a character. There was a point early on in the show where JP was paying an artist to make custom art for all the characters who would then die almost immediately.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
So you were literally costing him money.
Yeah.
Money, just throwing it like supporting artists is great and stuff, but like cool. I just spent money to make what do you mean I'm dead? Fuck.
Yeah. That was that lasted.
No, I just see
two characters.
The artists at their drafting table like.
Yeah.
Toss it.
No, Dave started drawing the turtle, and I was like, let's give it a couple episodes. All right, let's just make sure.
Right, exactly. You don't want to start talking about moving in together on the first date. Just give it some space.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we could probably kind of cut the chit chat here and talk a little bit about the kind of the rule set changes. I wouldn't even call it rule set changes. Just some of the stuff that Adam's bringing into the mix in terms of changing things around the show. And then we'll get started with the actual show.
Right. That sounds like a good plan. Before we do that, I have a really quick non-tabletop gaming related question. Has anybody else in this chat played all the way through the new Wolfenstein yet?
Not yet. I'm doing it probably this week.
So Zeke, you have?
Yep.
How did you feel about the closing credits music? Do you remember?
Yeah, I know the Twist Sister cover.
I'm curious what you thought.
It came on real strong, and then I went, oh shit, I know this song, and I went, man, They probably shouldn't have done this.
Okay. I just want to see if I was the only person on Earth because I went and I looked at the video.
So they
and
did something kind of a no-no, huh? Like given maybe current climate or something.
Just wait and see. Just play the game. It's a great game. The game is like 99.9% fantastic, super fun. And then come back and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I'll talk about this a lot, probably in depth more tomorrow during the draft frames, but I don't think it's really absolutely necessary to play it on any particularly hard difficulty.
That's kind of what I was going to go through when I was playing it. I think I was just going to go right in the middle kind of
Did
deal.
you play easiest?
Like just normal.
I did super easiest baby mode, and I was not disappointed that I did that because the best stuff is out of battle, or was out of battle for me personally. So
that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah,
I played it on medium, and there were like two fights that I had to do a couple of times, but for the most part, yeah, it's pretty smooth. I think you'd enjoy it either way. So it's a good game. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to check because I was having one of these like, am I just like totally off base with this music moment? But thank you for reassuring me, Zeke.
No, it definitely was like, it was like, that candy has like rat feces in it. It's
wow, rat feces.
It was like,
I was gonna say something like
it was sugary at first. I was like, oh, I recognize this, and then I went, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. It's fair. Somebody clipped my facial reaction to the beginning of the song, and I had that moment too. I was like, wait, what is? Oh no! Oh no! That's, oh God! Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So JP, do you want me to talk a little bit about the new experience stuff?
Yeah. Let's jump into the changes.
Okay. Yeah. So so the way that XP previously had been handed out was that when you encounter a dangerous thing, whether it's goblins or thieves or whatever, when you get into an encounter that is dangerous for you, you would be awarded experience based on how difficult that encounter is to overcome based on your level. So encounters were structured as being easy, medium, hard, or deadly, and each of those has a threshold of experience based on the level of the party. We had been playing the game wherein like 90%, the lion's share of the experience came from doing hard or deadly encounters. Some by avoiding them, but usually by fighting them, because that's the tools that the characters have. And so we ended up with a lot of, like, if we got in a fight, it was a fight that would take up a lot of space in the game, which is fun for big like boss battles and stuff. But it was getting to the point where we were bogged down, and there's also side experience being rewarded for quests, but that only happened like 2 or 3 times because the likelihood that any given character would make it all the way through a quest was very low because the encounters were so difficult. So we found that model of rewarding XP purely for fights and focusing on fights and making these things challenging mechanically and focusing purely on that was making it hard for not only the audience to get attached to any given character. Like, the fact that everybody loves Berg so much is because Berg is stuck around, right? Like, Berg is an interesting character because he's had time to develop and get a character.
I think it's because he's clearly the best character played by the best role.
I mean, let's be real. You hated him at first.
I did. I fucking hated him.
At first, you were like, "I rolled."
Berg.
JP tricked you into rolling.
Aha.
And your stats are terrible.
But hold on. Did I trick him into rolling, or did I trick him into making the best Court of Swords character?
You're like, really? Who's pulling the strings here?
Yeah. To the layman, you tricked him, but really, Mastermind JP at work. Creative director of Berg. So we ended up in this position where people would create characters and not really be all that invested in them, and it would be hard to get invested because they could just go away at any moment. And I'm sure that there's some deep-seated lesson here about not caring about things because they'll die or go away. But in this game, we wanted to give the people who are watching at home and the players more opportunity to get attached to characters. Yeah. So to do that, I wanted to de-incentivize combat. And so if I reduce the amount of combat in the game, the amount of possible encounters, that also means that experience would drop, which would mean it would be very difficult to level up, because if all you get levels for is avoiding encounters and all we have are like medium or easy encounters, or we just don't encounter monsters that often, then the whole thing kind of comes grinding to a halt. The reward
Can you
system
imagine like a D&D game where you walk out and you're like in a forest and then the DM says, all right, before you is 500 goblins. Good luck. And we're going to roll initiative for every single one of them. And we're just going to see what happens.
So combat is important to D&D, right? Like adventure and battle are important. The characters will all have things that let them succeed in battle. But there were situations, and there have been situations, where the reason you are fighting is to get experience points, right? Where the characters have no reason to be in this fight. Instead, they're just like, well, you know what? If we stay and fight these guys, we could get enough to level up, and it detached us from. We would be like RP for an hour and then D&D board game for 3 hours, which is like fine, but not much fun to watch. It's hard to care about those fights if you're not, embodying your character. So instead of getting experience for combat or encounters or overcoming encounters, it's just, I don't care about that anymore. Encounters are irrelevant. There's no such thing as an encounter anymore. What we're going to do instead is reward the players for pursuing either internal character goals or external quests. So the difference between a goal and a quest is just that a goal is a player set objective. A quest is an NPC or faction or externally set objective. So I will give you quests, or you can seek them out through NPCs. Then everyone in the group will work together towards those quests. But each character will have individual goals. You get 3 slots for your goals, and you will fill the goal slots in with a thing that you want to achieve, a thing your character wants to do, right? I will convince the local police captain that the House of the Falcon was haunted by a vampire. I will finally free myself from my bonds of slavery.
Chance.
I will defeat significant, like you'll pick an opponent, right? You could be like, you know what? I've had enough of Hazan. I will kill Hazan with my own 2 hands, right? And so these goals can be big, they can be small. I will assess the difficulty of them based on the sort of narrative likelihood of your success, obstacles that are in your way. So if you are like, I will strangle Hazan to death, that's going to be on the higher end. But if you're like, I just want to make somebody laugh today, that'll be on the other end. That'll be easy. So there's different strategies you can take, but there'll be 4 different kinds of difficulty set to the goals. They're going to be either easy, medium, hard, or deadly. I will not tell you what your goals, like if it's a deadly goal, you'll probably be able to figure that out as you go. And when you achieve your goal, and this is why writing the goals is important, we need to know when they are achieved, because when you achieve your goal, you get the XP. And I've got values set up for those. Same goes for quests, right? A quest is just going to be coming from the outside. So if like you go to Inanna's tower and Inanna is like, hey, I need you to go and hassle this other wizard for me. Steal his wizard pants and bring them back. And if you do that, then I'll give you the quest experience. I've added to Roll20, I've added a new like handout that everybody should have access to called the quest log. If you open there's a notes section where you can all maintain like whatever quests you're doing right now.
Really? Right now, I just see a magnifying glass.
That's all I see too. What is this troll?
I just see a magnifying glass.
What is
with
this
Minecraft
troll?
Scroll.
Be able to hit is. Do you not have the edit button available to you?
Oh
There's an
yes,
edit
we
button.
do. Yeah.
Okay, so there.
There you go, Tiger. Now you
At
got
first,
it.
I was like, "What is this? A joke?"
Yeah. 'Cause
So
that's
you'll
not
be
playing
able
Minecraft.
you'll be able to keep track of them yourselves. I have a separate like log in the back for all my notes and stuff, but you keep track of who they are and where they came from. And if you accomplish a goal, then you clear the slot. You get the experience right away. You can, at the beginning of a session, you can change your goals, or you can add new ones if you have empty slots. If a goal gets resolved during a session, you don't just get to write a new one, right? So maximum, you could do all 3 of your goals and then just like help other people get their goals if there's still more time in the session. You know, if you finish your work early, help another student. And if you attempt to accomplish a goal or a quest and fail, like it becomes impossible to succeed at it, you don't get any partial XP. There's no like halfway. So goals, you can rewrite them to reflect the new situation, but that's how that works. So yeah, in part, this is to encourage rewards for engaging in the setting and for engaging in each other's characters, right? You're going to gain XP on your own now, but you can write goals together, right? You could say, yeah, we're both interested in this, but maybe it's not a party goal. If everyone in the party shares a goal, we'll just move it to the quest log, right? Because obviously then it's not a personal goal. Everybody wants that, so it's a party focused thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for me, it's a way for me to know how to GM for you as a group specifically, right? Because up to this point, I was like, well, here's the world, here's your quest, do the thing, and I will adjust and sort of mess around with what I'm doing as we go. But now you can tell me, here is a thing that I want to have in the game. I'm curious about this, and through my character, I'm going to explore that. The only other thing is that because you can have goals that are related to each other, any goal to be accomplished needs at least a single roll to be behind it. You have to make a skill check, or there has to be a fight, or something. There needs to be a roll. Rolls for goals, because otherwise you could write goals that are purely RP and then just feed off each other, right? Be like, I'm gonna tell this character a joke, and then you're like, I tell you a joke, and you're like, I laugh, and you're like, haha, goal complete.
Give me that XP.
It behooves you to like help each other, and the better each of you as characters are, then the more successful you're all going to be as a group. But I want people to be able to pursue their own goals. So you can write goals that are related to each other. You can help each other with your goals, that kind of thing. And as you figure them out, I'm gonna be making notes and figuring out how much they're worth. And that is the new experience system.
For someone who's not super familiar with like all of this yet,
Sure.
I left. And this is for the chat and for you. I left my goals pretty vague, kind of like not super specific. I'm wondering if I can, as I go, as we do this adventure today or do this broadcast today, I can change them and make them more specific next time.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing is that as we all kind of like learn how to make this system make a more fun, better, like engaging experience with D&D, we're gonna like workshop the goals. We'll do all this stuff out in the open, talk about our goals, and see where we can overlap them and adjust them so that they can fit, right? So if it's like, I have this goal and you're like, I have a goal that's like that, let's work together to both get our goal sorted out. And yeah, there's a bunch of different strategies. You know, you might pick a deadly goal and just like go after it as hard as you can. You might pick a bunch of easy or medium goals. So it's a granular version of milestones, and it's milestones that are turned over to you as players to figure out.
Okay, and it's cool to just share your goals with whoever.
Yeah, that'll be the next thing we talk about. So I'm reworking some stuff around inspiration, how I want to hand that out, and I'm rethinking the tarot like bond mechanism in the game. So those are kind of in beta. We'll release those for a next patch. But for now, we'll just hand out inspiration for like just playing your character and revealing cool things about them. You can nominate each other for inspiration. It's not a huge thing, and I'll work out a better system for that as we go. But for right now, we'll just kind of play it loosely.
Cool.
So yeah, let's talk about what y'all want your goals to be. I know that JP, your new character, and Zeke, your character, you've had some time to think about your character goals.
Yeah, we should probably go first because I think Max.
I feel like it's easier to make Berg goals too, because you guys could even everyone knows enough about Berg to know certain things that he'd want to.
Totally.
I have some things in mind.
Someone reminded me that Berg still has Hellboy arm.
Yeah, that's one of his goals, believe it or not.
Yeah, uncurse my arm.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot that.
I forgot about that too until somebody mentioned it, like in the chat, and then I was like, "Oh, right."
That Rocky
Berg's
talent.
fucking weird, man. He's like huge arm, and then the other one's just like little.
Yeah.
So he's got like the Rick and Morty Morty arm.
I don't know. In my own head, I've pictured it as like a shrunken kind of like wooden thing, but it's probably more that it's just like turned kind of to what you can
just
describe
limp.
it, right?
He's just got a dead arm.
He fell ill. He fell ill of a vampire overlord's trap, and the trap tried to turn him entirely to stone, but only got his arm. And so he has this like one arm that's basically like Hellboy's like red right hand, right? Where it's just a big stone arm. He can't grip anything with it. You could use it to punch people, but it's reducing his ability to. I guess it's your left arm. It's reducing your ability to defend yourself because you can't wear your shield and your.
I mean, it kind of looks badass, I guess, in a way. If it hasn't
does.
reduced size and it's just kind of there, like in whatever
Yeah.
For some reason, I just pictured like almost like a Groot, like growing a new
Yeah, the growth.
limb kind of thing, where it's just like shriveled and twisted.
The rest of your body is the way that it was before.
What's shriveled and twisted is Berg's soul. Let's be
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Yes.
Which he
At
may
least
or
you
may
still
not.
have. At least you still have one, unlike
Yeah.
Ramus. Okay. Well, Zeke, do you wanna talk about your character's goals? I guess for folks who haven't watched the character creation, I mean, you might as well tell us like your race and your class, your character's name, and then we can talk about your goals for the character.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. My character is named Kalimat Alfida. If you want to know, I just kind of just Googled Arabic things, and it means silver tongue in Arabic.
Nice.
Or tongue of silver. I'm not sure. But Kalimat seemed like a dragony kind of a name, so I kept it. And also it describes kind of what he is. He's a rogue, very, very good at speaking, so on and so forth. He can. Well, I mean, he's like you can see his stats. Oh, you can't see his stats right now, but
No, I
high
got you.
charisma.
Just the way he said that, that was why it was funny.
It was, yeah. He was like, he's very good at speaking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
The irony is not lost on me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see stats.
Yeah, but yeah, he's very good at that, and he's also very good at sleight of hand, that kind of stuff. What did you want me to go into?
I mean, as much as you want to tell us about, like, you can tell us what let's not do like physical appearance, because I want that to be part of the, like, we fade in on the two of you, and
Sure.
we can narrate you in the scene rather than just like standing in T pose, rotating around in the character creation screen. So yeah, what are your goals for character?
My goals as of now, I had to change one of them because of my background contradicted it. So you can tell me if it's good or not or whatever. Okay. But my first goal is to get Sally Hoffa, which I just call Sally, which is JP's character, to laugh, smile, sing, or otherwise show love for life. Because we have teamed up. The backstory is we have teamed up previously. We'll get into that. And he is very analytical, and I am not. We're very different in our mannerisms, but we complement each other in that manner. He's super intelligent, and I am very loquacious, that kind of thing. But I see him. He lives a cold existence to me, so I want to get him to warm up to passion for life stuff.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So finding an opportunity to cheer your friend is a great goal. Not difficult to accomplish. You should be able to do it in the session. Yeah, cool.
The next goal is find out more about my people. When I read my backstory, you'll understand he's born of a nomadic family. So he doesn't know a lot about his heritage. So he wants to find out more about the Dragonborn and how they function within their own society, or maybe go out and meet some other Dragonborn, or get some stories, songs, or rumors about them.
Okay, so this one as a goal is good, but let's it's hard to know whether you've done it or not, right?
Sure.
Like finding out more is an ongoing it's an ongoing process. So what is a concrete thing?
Learn the location of at least one Dragonborn that I can talk to. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see this show become Dragonborn dating. I would love to see that. That would be great. See how Dragonborn date amongst each other.
Okay, so Dragonborn are rare enough that even in the city of Brass, they're not just like walking around. So you'd have to find one. Okay, cool. All right. And what was your third goal?
The third goal is we can change it, or you said you liked it sort of because you're interested in what might come, but it's try something new / exciting / different every day.
Yeah. So this one, again, all it requires is that there is some risk to accomplishing the goal, right? Like your first and third goals are both going to be relatively easy. You could do them both once every session, which means they're not going to be worth that much XP. But the last one will get harder and harder the more things you experience. So yeah, I'm curious to see how that one goes. So I think we can keep that one and find something new and interesting to do.
Cool. Those are my goals then.
All right, I dig it. let's talk about your character, JP. You're playing a turtle.
I am indeed playing a turtle. It's not a turtle. It's a turtle.
Turtle.
There's a
Turtle.
difference. You got to stay on brand. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing Sally Hafasunu. You can call him. His friends call him Sally. He doesn't really understand the idea of a friend, but they're people that he talks to every single day. Emotions are kind of lost on turtles. They would rather spend the energy of that emotions take to just try to progress something else forward. Usually in the search of knowledge, just kind of as a race. That's where they stand. But I guess goal wise, I don't know what order Zeke did this in, so I'll just jump straight to goals.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Kind of the big lofty one is I wish to find an artifact that can teach me about the creators and caretakers of this plane. And that'll probably be an ongoing one, just so I'm kind of always searching for the idea of information or the idea of artifact.
Yeah, and it'll roll into other goals too, right? Like you find the artifact, and then you'll have to like decipher what it does, and then so you'll have lots of things because this is a smaller representation of your larger quest for knowledge and like understanding the world.
Yeah. I wish to learn why Berg is so important to the powers that be is the second one. And that's kind of like step one of a multi-step process that will eventually go down, hopefully. And then the third one is less of a wish, but more just kind of a demand. It's just, how does the soulless one exist?
Right.
I
So
don't understand how that can occur. Yeah. And so
you want to
I'm
learn
trying
how it's possible.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious how Ramus can exist, basically.
Yeah, because he breaks some pretty fundamental rules about reality.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to learn. It'll be interesting to learn how Sally Hoffa knows about Berg and about Ramus, where that information came from. And you, so as a wizard, what do you choose at level 3? You like choose a school as a wizard,
Choose a school,
right?
yeah.
Okay. So which school did you pick?
Turtles are not necessarily not at all a warring race. They tend to kind of, again, want to push forward the idea of knowledge, and destruction is not something that has interested them throughout the eons that they've existed. So with that in mind, we tend to kind of get by without fighting. And so School of Illusions seemed to make that make the most sense by going down that school. We kind of hide where we're at, hide our the fact that we're turtles to begin with, and all that stuff. So
cool. And it's not so much that there's like a short, like you're both relatively rare, and it's not so much that there's like a shortage of turtles. It's just that they stay to their own, right?
Yeah, turtles don't really leave the. I don't have a name yet for their city, but I assume we'll get there one day, at least in reference. But yeah, we don't really leave the original city, which is somewhere in this world underwater. So
cool.
That's kind of all I've got there in terms of the city. We'll eventually explore that a little bit more. I'll put some more thought into it.
Yeah, totally. We can figure it out. And
but I will say, to kind of match up with the theme of the game in terms of the locale of the game, seeing a turtle is almost a sense of like luck. Like if a turtle is either looking for you or wants to talk to you or anything, it's seen as kind of a good luck omen.
Okay, cool.
Kind of in the same vein as having like an Azamar, where that's kind of seen as like like you've been chosen by the gods almost, I think is kind of how we approach that. This is a different side of the spectrum where it's just good fortune will come to you if you're sought by a turtle.
Okay, cool. I like it. Yeah, if you're important to a turtle, it's like a good sign. Fate has something in mind for you.
Yeah. Also, someone's asking. Cool. Someone made a joke, but I think it is relevant. The turtles aren't in kind of the bureaucracy or control of any of the courts. They kind of exist outside the courts.
Yeah. And I mean, like turtles in reality, they're probably very, very old. They're an old race that's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Whether there were more of them, where there were more of them before, or whether like they've existed in the city, sort of safe from the messing of what's been going on with the sort of human world.
Yep. I think historically, to kind of speak to the fact that they are not a warring faction, in the Primordial arc and other pieces of Court of Swords, we've kind of mentioned the fact that the dwarves and the orcs fought for so long, probably the longest war out of any of the races. It took probably 3/4 of that war for the turtles to actually decide that they were going to fight in it. And by the time they decided what side they were going to fight on, it was pretty much over. And so the dwarves historically just hate turtles.
Sure, right. So there's this old grudge. And was their inevitable their final decision to fight on the side of the dwarves?
It was to fight on both sides. It's kind of the split. Like in turtle culture, there was the Great Rift basically, and half of them wanted to fight for the orcs, and those people now live in the desert. It's kind of more nomadic tribe,
right?
And half of those people wanted to fight on the dwarves, and those kind of stayed the true sea turtles.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
So you were the Walder Frey of that whole fucking situation.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they
I wasn't alive though. I mean, turtles only live for about 50, 60 years. So
yeah, they waited to see.
Yeah,
their people are long lived, but the individuals maybe aren't. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So they don't follow they predate the Arcana. The whole idea of like the fountain and the Mara is like an interesting way to look at the world, but isn't built into Turtle's philosophy. Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So Berg, let's get you some goals, Berg.
Sure.
What kinds of things would you like to do?
This is where I get a little I don't know how much I want to share, right? Because what if I say something that's like super spoilery or something that would have been better served if we kept it as a private goal? And
sure. So
I think some of them that off the top of my head, I'll just say the ones that I think I wrote down like a little bit, but obviously he wants to heal his arm and be fully strong again to work as a better tool of the tower. That's a pretty general goal that I think that could be worked in. This one's a depressing goal. This next one. I think people know that though already. Berg generally wants to stop living a life of suffering and pain, or at least find out why bad things happen to him. That's like I kind of tried to think of the goals in terms of like, because you can't get too complex with Berg, right? Because he's kind of a simple dude, but he can word a kind of maybe complex goal in a simple way like that, where it's like, why do bad things happen to me? I would love if that stopped.
Exactly. Learn why I am cursed.
Yeah.
That's a great goal. Yeah. Okay, so your first goal is heal your arm, restore your health. Okay. And then your second goal is find out why bad things keep happening to me.
When I typed it, I laughed a little bit. I'm like, oh, poor Berg.
All right. Okay. And then you have room for a third. But yeah, if you want to keep, so we can determine how much of this stuff we want to share with other people, or if you have something that you wouldn't mind the other players knowing, but you want to keep from the audience because it'll be a fun reveal, that's okay too.
I think a third one that's a good general one that people can probably get behind and already know more or less just from the way he operates. I want to free myself of slavery as a whole to finally be free, but that's probably won't happen anytime soon. So it's like an overall kind of like where Berg wants to be, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the suffering one.
Yeah, and it's fine to have a big goal like that. It just means that it's more difficult. Cool. Yeah, I dig it. All right, great. So you have some goals set up. Let's get a intro for the new characters, but resetting kind of where we're at. So the last time, Berg, that we saw you and Ramus, and Dan when Dan comes back, Dan can tell us what Ramus has been up to. But you had a conversation with Hazan where he was basically like, look, Management is having some problems. I need to go to heaven and deal with that. You guys are on standby, right? Do what you got to do. Don't leave the city. Things are happening. I gotta go.
Yeah.
And so he left for heaven to go and participate in whatever is going on up there, leaving you and Ramus essentially to kind of have your own devices for the time being. And so we are in the city of Brass. The city of Brass being the largest city in the world, the capital of the Court of Wands. It is out in the desert, built into a mountain that kind of comes up out of the sand desert, tracking in all directions around it. And it is ancient and enormous and cosmopolitan. There are people of all types visit the city of Brass. That's big enough that it has a magically powered train system, basically, that moves people around in the city. The city itself is this enormous place that it takes time. If you want to walk from one end to the other, it would take a very long time. The city is hot. We are in a hot season, and to a degree, I think the city itself is in a bit of a tension state. There have been uprisings in many of the poorer districts. There has been some rumor of the halflings in they live in this ghetto of them kind of like rising up and overthrowing their masters. Noble houses have been burned in the night. There's been a series of illnesses, and they say in some of the neighborhoods that there is a serial killer prowling the neighborhoods. So especially among the halflings, right? They've suffered from a bunch of mysterious killings. So yeah, there's a lot going on. The city is hot and tense right now. But as always, it's busy, right? There are wizard towers to look at. There are markets to explore, and there's always something to do in the city of Brass. So, Berg, we will get to you in a second, but we have two newcomers to the city, Kalimat and Sully. The two of you have arrived recently in the city of Brass, and so we get introduced to the city by way of the two of you traveling into town. So I think you enter by one of the gates. Are the two of you coming to the city alone? Are you with a caravan? Is this a stealthy entrance into the city, or do you simply just walk through the eastern gate?
I was under the impression that we were already here. Is that not?
It's up to you. Yeah.
I mean, I think
this can be a flashback to your arrival.
Yeah. I think
gotcha.
We came into the city. I would think, and Zeke, feel free to jump in and dispute this or agree with this.
Sure.
But I would think we kind of came in on the back of a caravan and kind of not necessarily snuck into the caravan, but basically used it as a way to kind of shield our entrance into the city.
Yeah, I hitched a ride and talked our way onto the back of a turnip truck or something like that.
Yeah, the equivalent of that. They don't necessarily have like a security entrance. Like we're not going to get.
No.
Okay,
The city is open.
okay.
The city is open to all. The city of Brass, like the Court of Wands, has never really been at war, so there's no reason to close the gates. And it's so big, and there's so much traffic in and out every day along especially the eastern road that leads out into the Court of Coins, that there'd be no reason for them to close the gate.
Yeah, I think we snuck in that way then, or came into the city that way. He did his best to kind of, being that I would obviously stick out like a sore thumb, just being a fucking, 500-pound, 6-foot tortoise, or bipedal tortoise.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big guy.
I didn't imagine you being that big.
Yeah.
So are you cloaked to like hide?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Being that I'm that big, in our travels, we've kind of accrued enough cloth so that when we do go into an area that would attract attention, we just kind of like wrap me up from head to toe in a garb. Not necessarily one that's pretty, but just one that does the job.
Right. Okay. So no one would necessarily notice this. They would just see like a hulking creature entering the city. But you're making an effort to kind of stay on the down low. This isn't to like walk through the gates, Prince Ali blowing the trumpet situation.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, what about you, Kalimat? Are you similarly swathed?
No. I am actually trying to get the word out about Dragonborn, like being around, being a thing now.
Right.
This is where we have
I want them.
disputes.
I want them to see me. So I have very nice clothes that might look a bit dirty or whatever just from traveling around so much, but they're very well kept. They're, mended. I make sure that they don't have any stains on them and stuff like that. But my hood, there's no hood or anything like that. You can see like there's scales coming up, like a widow's, like picture someone who's like me, kind of who's balding like this. There's like blue scales, like coming down like hair instead of hair. There's a light blue scales, and you can see it's kind of like if you know an Al-Ra from Final Fantasy 14. I've got they're not huge horns, but they're horns from the back of my head that kind of shadow my jawline.
Yeah. I dig it. Cool. So actually, Sally, it helps you to have such an ostentatious companion because it draws all the attention away from you.
That's the logic of Sully, is that, when Zeke first said that when this will take a little bit, when Kali first said that he wanted to let people know who he is and what he is, I was vehemently against it. But the more that we did this, I started to see the less people cared about me being next to him, and so as that kind of occurred more and more, I just agreed to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I whenever we're together, I definitely take the spotlight off of him.
So what we see the two of you, maybe Sully, you're on the back of a cart. There's a goat pulling it and complaining loudly of your weight. You're sitting on the back of the cart, and Kalimat, you're walking in the street and kind of taking in the city. Have either of you been to the city of Brass before?
I have not.
I have. It's like a stopover in New York City.
Right.
I'll stay for a night and then I'll move on.
Right. Okay. So you're returning to this place, and what was it like the last time you were here? Was it a positive visit? What were you here for?
I was here on my way to follow a lead as far as finding it more like I don't know, it's a clutch, a village or whatever of my people. And I stopped here because I know at least one place that I can have a good time. I can, make merry, drink, sing, charm everybody, maybe, get a little action.
So is that where you're headed now? Are you going to take your new friend to this place, this tavern that you went to once before?
No, he knows I don't give a shit.
He would not like that. He would not like that place. Maybe if I sneak him some drinks and he doesn't know it, he would go with me. But as it is now, that's not the kind of place for him.
Right. Okay. All right. So you're returning to the city of Brass. How long has it been since the last time you were here?
I want to say it's been like a year and a half, 2 years, something like that.
Okay. All right. So the heat is oppressive, and the people around you, they are they seem tired, right? Like as you enter the city, you can see the vendors. There are like guides. There's a guild of usually young boys and girls that kind of know the streets, and they send out these kids to come to new caravans. And so even they, who are normally approaching the caravan with excitement to try to drag people away, advertising to them, I will show you whatever you want to find. The city of Brass has it. Come with me, and they're all kind of like chattering to get your attention. There's something about the way that they're presenting themselves now that feels like they've lost something since the last time you were here. There's an exhaustion in the air, but you can still gain access to a guide and find the things that you seek in the city. So, I guess this was some time ago when you arrived. Like when you were saying you imagine you were already here. How long have you been in the city of Brass?
We had talked
How long ago was this moment? Yeah.
we had talked about being in the city of Brass as long as Berg had been in the city of Brass. Like literally, we tracked him here,
Okay. All right.
or
So it's
I
been,
tracked him here. Not necessarily with Kali's help, but yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a while because like Berg, we on screen never actually saw your arrival here, right? We cut into the middle of probably some time. It would make sense if it took Sully and Kalimat like the better part of a year to find you, because the city is huge and you've been here a long time serving the tower, knocking stuff over and lighting things on fire. Okay, all right. So the two of you then, where did you settle in to begin your search, or have you been moving around in the city, staying at different places?
I think we've been moving around a little bit. I have a bit of coin if we need to pay for a room or whatever. I always like to make a note of places that I possibly could set up my trade, or maybe a corner or a bar that I could sing in to make money if I need to. So I make a point of visiting those places. And I also probably would be visiting anything with fine jewelry or fine clothing and stuff like that. And just window shop, but maybe, look a little too long at them.
Yeah. So while he does that, I basically
I don't want to say case the joint, but yeah.
while he's doing
building up a contingency plan for emergency funds if the need were to arise.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would think during the day while he's doing that, I'm spending most of my time at the Grand Library in that area.
Ah, okay. All right. So the two of you, despite being like roommates, basically, you spend most of your time apart, right? Because you're of a very different, I guess, outlooks or intents, right? Like one of you is being social and talking to people, and the other is scouring the great libraries of the city of Brass.
Yeah. Again,
okay.
I think that turtles aren't interested in kind of the norms. We'd rather try to learn as much as possible in our lifetime, and being social and learning the social norms is not something that's interesting.
Yeah, it won't help you in your.
It's not gonna improve turtle society. Yeah.
Okay, well let's do a couple of rolls just to see kind of the setup of this, like how that year has been for you, in terms of like success.
Okay.
So why don't we have Kalimat? You can make. I don't know. What do you want to do? I think there's a couple of options here. There's the idea that you're like performing, right, to do these things.
Make him sing. Make him sing.
So you're performing in inns and taverns, and you're making some money, but also like you're collecting information, right? Like you're trying to kind of put the word out and dig through what is real and what isn't. So let's have you roll first your performance. Let's have a performance check.
And before you roll this, could I make the point of saying that, if he comes back and says he's having a bad day, that I could somehow give him logically or logical advice on how he could improve his performance in terms of just ways for people to take interest in something of that nature, not necessarily knowing what's going to be entertaining, but knowing that like the human eye is going to catch on to bright colors better than it's going to catch on to dull colors.
Humans love flashy colors.
Yeah, or the eye of a beast will catch on to flashy colors more so than like dull colors. Would that perhaps increase his chances here?
You're looking to help him, give him advantage on this roll?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think that's fine.
Okay. So I roll, just hit the thing and take the highest, right?
Yes. Yeah. It'll roll 2 for you. And and you'll have the.
Oh, I critted it.
All right. So
critted it right out the gate.
Brilliant. So you are amazing. You are a performer within days of your first performance, Kalimat. The people of the city of Brass like desperately want you to perform at their tavern, right? You're getting offers every day, like of Kalimat of the beautiful voice, like please come sing at our tavern, and yeah, like you're basically like hit of the town. So this has been a good, it's been a good like 8 or 9 months for you. You've been making money. You've been building a reputation for yourself, and now at least the districts that you travel in. They know you. So we're seeing not just, I guess we probably get a montage of like your initial first performances, and then people start to recognize you in the street. You are blending into this community like near perfectly. Yeah.
And I think I'm good at like I think this team that me and Sally Hoffa and I have is he does the work with his intelligence and wisdom. He does the crowd, like reads the crowd, and then he tells me like this guy has like a detective, like this guy has marks on his hands. He's a coal miner. Or this guy does this. This guy like this lady looks like this and that kind of stuff. And then I have a songbook from being a nomad that I can pick songs relating to whoever's in my audience. Yeah. And that's like how our like little act works.
And I think it's very mundane too. Like again, if I see like a coal miner or people of like that lifestyle, I'll go and tell them like, sing to the masses today.
Right, exactly. The crowd is full of workers weary from their labor. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so yeah, there's probably some degree of mystery around who your companion is, right? Because you've made an effort to remain stealthy, right? Sally, you don't want people to know that you're a turtle.
Oh yeah, when I go out to these things, I'll either through magic, probably less often than or more often than not through magic, but I'm all garbed up, so you can kind of only really see the red eyes through the slits.
Okay, all right. So I think it's reasonable for this, and I've been toying a little bit with using a like a reputation like tracker in the game. So what is what's your reputation or your charisma bonus, Kalimat?
4.
4? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So we'll start you, and you just got a crit on your performance. So I'll double that. Okay, cool. So yeah, you are up and coming. You're not known citywide, but you are known in this neighborhood as being like mysterious and interesting, and they've started to pick up on your presence. And it would make sense for you to have sort of developed some fans. You got a decent thing going here. So let's see. Meanwhile, and I think Sully, you can have advantage on this roll too. Let's have you roll stealth to see how well hidden you can.
Oh, okay. Stay. I thought you were gonna say how the fuck. I was gonna argue like how would he help me in the library? But no, for stealth.
This is your stealth. This is to see if anybody knows if they're all blinded by Kalimat's brilliant light, or if they know that if someone has caught sight of you.
Yeah, this could go real bad.
Yeah, not necessarily your okay, 12, so it's not bad.
Average.
Okay, so you're doing an okay job. You haven't done anything really yet to draw attention to yourself, and Kali is doing such a good job being out in the open that you've managed to maintain your privacy, which means you've had the opportunity to do some research. Yeah. So why don't we take our first break here, and when we get back, we'll find out how library time has gone, and we'll catch up with Berg.
Sounds good. All right, still got 3 hours left to go. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Court of Swords right after this. We'll see you then.